Mrs. Pearson asked Fitzgerald that how could she explain all these what had happened. At this, Fitzgerald told, or rather warned Mrs. Pearson that you must not go for any explanation or apologizing to your family members, because if you go for that explanation, then you straight back to the position where you were. And at this, Pearson told that you could not understand this, what is going on in my mind, because these are not your children, this is my children and my husband, so you could not understand what the position they were in. So here a last speech of Mrs. Pearson that we completed, that with spirit, it's all right for you, Mrs. Fitzgerald, after all they are not your husband and children, that Mrs. Pearson told in page number 51 I am reading from, and I feel you have got where I am reading. Now afterwards what Mrs. Fitzgerald told means, the story has come to that part that both Mrs. Fitzgerald and Pearson, they have interchanged to their soul again. At first they had interchanged, and we know Pearson became Fitzgerald, Fitzgerald became Pearson, but now they actually changed back and came to their original soul, original self. And Mrs. Pearson was confused that what she would tell to her son, daughter, and actually husband. At this Pearson, at this Fitzgerald, actually Fitzgerald warned her that you must not tell this all, you must not go for any explanation or apologizing and all this. At this Mrs. Fitzgerald told here that now you listen to me. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald is telling this to Pearson, that she should listen to Mrs. Fitzgerald. You admitted yourself you were spoiling them and they didn't appreciate you. Any apologies, any explanation, and you will be straight back where you were. That Mrs. Fitzgerald told this to Pearson. That you told me that you could not control your son, your daughter, your husband, and your son and daughter had been spoiled. That is the reason that I had taken the responsibility, I had taken the liability to actually to teach them that how they should behave with their mother, and to teach your husband how he should behave with his wife. But now you are telling that you are going for explanation. Now here Fitzgerald warned Pearson that any apologies, any explanations, and you will be straight back where you were. And if actually if you go for if you ask for apologies, if you go for explanation, that if you tell to your family members that the harsh treatment that they received, it was not from you, it was from Fitzgerald, from me, then you would straight back where you were. I am warning you, dear. Just give them a look, a tone of voice now and again to suggest you might be tough with them if you wanted to be, and it ought to work. However, anyhow, we can taste it. Now Fitzgerald told to Pearson that you should be very tough. Here actually told that I am warning you, just give them a look, a tone of voice now and then to suggest you might be tough with them if you wanted to be. And actually Fitzgerald told Pearson that you should give this message to your family members, that if time requires, if situation demands, then you might be tough with them also as you had been tough with them, and you ought to work. And Fitzgerald actually expected that it should work, if you behave like this. Now Fitzgerald actually wanted to taste that whether the harsh treatment that the family members they received, whether this harsh treatment really brought the difference in their outlook, in their approach. Now Mrs. Pearson was confused how. At Fitzgerald told that we could taste this, whether this harsh treatment would work or not. At this Pearson was confused. Pearson told how we could taste this. Now Fitzgerald, well, what is it you'd like them to do what that they don't do? Stop at home for once. Now Fitzgerald asked this to Pearson, that you tell me what actually thing that you want, to do, you want that your family members should do, whether they do it or not, whether they like it or not. So what the thing that you want Do you want that they should stop at home without going out of home? Because we know it was their routine that every evening they used to come home from their job, from their work, and afterwards, after taking tea or tiffin, they used to go out of their house. So here Fitzgerald told that, what do you want? Fitzgerald was asking to Pearson that, what do you want? Should they stay at home? Now Pearson, yes, and give me a hand with supper. And he told, yes, I want that my family members, my son, my daughter, my husband, they should stop at home, they should stay at home, and not only that, they should help give me a hand, means they should help me in preparing supper. Supper means dinner. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald, anything you would like them to do, what you enjoy, whether they do or not. Now Fitzgerald told that, is there anything, Fitzgerald was asking this to Pearson, that is there anything that you want that they should do, your family members should do, whether your family members like it or not? Is there something there that you want your family members to do, whether they would like it or not? Pearson hesitating. Yeah, well, yes, Pearson was hesitating. That Pearson actually, she was so much habituated, because in her family, her actually desire had not been entertained by her family members. So actually, as if Mrs. Pearson had accepted the fact that whatever she would tell to her family members, they would deny it, and as if it had become his habit. So here, when Fitzgerald told that, you tell me that what you want that your family members should do, whether they would like it or not, so what you want that they should do. At this, Mrs. Pearson was hesitating. I told why she was hesitating, because more or less she was habituated with these, that she knew as if whatever she wanted that her family members should do, her family member would not listen to it. Now she hesitating, and then told, well, yes, I like a nice game of rummy, but of course I hardly ever have one except at Christmas. At this, Pearson told, yes, I like a nice game of rummy. Rummy is a card game, you should know. And Pearson told that, I want to play rummy with my family members, but I do not get time. I do not get time means I do not get the company to play rummy, because nobody have the time to give me for playing rummy, and I only had the opportunity to play rummy only once in a year, and that is in the Christmas celebration. So I want to play rummy with my family members. Now Fitzgerald getting up, that will do then. That was the actually criteria. The criteria was fixed that Mrs. Fitzgerald or Mrs. Pearson should say to her family members that she wanted to play rummy that evening, that night, and what would be the reaction of her family members. That was the actually that was they were searching for. And Mrs. Fitzgerald getting up, Mrs. Fitzgerald got up, stood up, and told, that's do then. Now she moves towards the door, left, then turned and Mrs. Fitzgerald went to the door, and then, but remember, keep firm or you have had it. And finally she had to open the door to call the family members in, and then also Mrs. Fitzgerald told Pearson that you must be very firm, you know, as if the last warning. She is telling that, remember, keep firm or you have had it. You have had it means you would go to straight to your position where you were, because you had a life just like a slave in your own family. So if you could not maintain this dignity, then you would straight back to this. So as if Fitzgerald was giving the last warning to Pearson, and told, she opens the door calling, and then Fitzgerald opened the door and called them, "Hey, you can come in." This is rough and tough. Mrs. Fitzgerald just told, "Hey, you can come in." And coming away from the door and moving right slightly and quietly, quietly. But remember, a firm hand, as if this is the last suggestion given by Fitzgerald to Pearson, as Pearson's family member were about to come in. And again Mrs. Fitzgerald told this to Pearson, that you must be very firm, you should be very strict in your attitude, in your behavior, you should be very much dignified in front of your family members, and you must not go for any explanation or apologizing them. Now George, Doris and Cyril file in through the doorway, looking apprehensively at Mrs. Pearson. So George, the husband, Cyril, the son, and Doris, they file in means they came in a line, they entered into the room, and they all apprehensively looking towards their mother and her wife. Actually apprehensive means with fear. they had a fearful attitude towards their mother, because all they actually received a very harsh treatment from their mother. They did not know, they all knew that they received that treatment from their mother, and George knew that he had received this treatment from his wife. I'm just up to let you enjoy yourself, and Mrs. Fitzgerald telling, I'm just up means I'm going out, and I hope you will enjoy all. Now the family looks anxiously at Mrs. Pearson, who smiles, much relieved. They smile back at her, and all the family members, they were looking anxiously towards Mrs. Pearson, because Mrs. Pearson was so rough and tough with them so far. So they were very much afraid of, and the sister and the daughter and the son, they were looking fearfully at their mother, and ultimately their mother smiles, and they also smile back. They are relieved, much relieved, because they were in confused, because last 2 or 3 hours they were really got a harsh treatment from their mother. So they were very much confused that why what type of behavior they would now receive from their mother. But now when mother smiles at them, they were much relieved. Now Doris anxiously, yes mother. Now the daughter is asking this to the mother. Yes. Now Pearson smiling, saying that you don't want to go out, I tell you what I thought you'd do. Now with a smiling face, Pearson told to all the family members, to son, daughter and husband, that it's good, it's nice that I see that you don't want to go out, so I'm telling you what you should do. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald giving a final warning. Remember, Fitzgerald is still standing there, she has not gone yet, so she was still standing there, and again she told, as if she was giving the final warning to Pearson, and told, remember. Pearson nodding, then looking sharply at the family. No objections, I hope? Yes, as if when this very word remember as uttered by Fitzgerald, as if Mrs. Pearson was very much encouraged at these, and she got charged up, and she looked towards his family members and told, I don't feel you have any objection, you don't have any problem, that what I want, I told that I want you should stay at home tonight. George humbly, no mother, whatever you say. Now George was he was also so much terrified towards his wife, so he told just as mother, but it was his wife. He told, mother, whatever you say, I don't have any problem. Now Pearson smiling, I thought you'd have we would have a nice family game of rummy, then you children could get the supper ready while I have a talk with your father. Now Pearson actually revealed her plan. Pearson told the family members that I want at first that we all will play a nice game of rummy. Then the children, means Cyril and Doris, they would prepare tonight's supper, while Mrs. Pearson wanted to talk to her husband for a while. This was her plan. Now George firmly, suits me. George told in a serious tone, suits me means it suits me. I agree to this plan, and he looks challengingly at the children, and as if George has come to his wife's side, and as if on behalf of his wife he is asking to his children that what about you two, means he is asking to his son and daughter, what about you two, because it suits me, I just accept this, I have accepted this plan. Now Cyril hastily, yes, that's all right. Cyril hastily, quickly. Cyril also was very much afraid of his mother because the treatment he got from mother. So he told, yes, that's all right. Now Doris hesitating. Well, Doris had some other idea. Probably Doris would say that no, I wanted to go out with Charlie Spence and all these. She had another idea. So she told, well, now at this Mrs. Pearson sharply means in a very serious tone. What? Speak up. Pearson is telling, because Pearson was trying to be strict, as Mrs. Fitzgerald was still standing there, and the way Mrs. Fitzgerald has encouraged her. So she was trying to supply that dignity in her attitude, in her approach. So when the daughter was hesitating to accept this plan, that at this mother told in a serious tone, yes, what? Speak up. At this Doris was scared and told her hastily, I think it would be lovely. Doris immediately accepted this. So in that, if it is a taste, then no doubt Pearson had got the pass mark, should get the pass mark, because really with that dignity, that what? Speak up, with that serious tone, Really, Doris accepted the plan. Oh, I think it would be lovely. Now Pearson smiling. Goodbye, Mrs. Fitzgerald. Come soon. Come again soon. Now here Mrs. Fitzgerald was really very much grateful to Fitzgerald, and she told Fitzgerald goodbye. She bade Fitzgerald goodbye, and again she told that he should come again. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald, yes dear, night all, have a nice time. And Fitzgerald also, now this is the funeral time. Now she was going out of that room, and she told nice time to all of you, and night, you know, have a nice time to all. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald slept, and the family clustered around mother as the curtain falls, and Mrs. Fitzgerald, she had gone from that room, and all the family members, they clustered and they stood around the mother when the curtains fall. Means the test that Fitzgerald had done, whether this rap treatment really had an effect on the family members. Really, they got a very successful result. Really, it had a very positive, this heart treatment for 2 hours or 3 hours really got a very positive result. And it is true that if Mrs. Fitzgerald could continue with that dignity as Pearson, if Pearson could continue with that dignity, then really Pearson would get the due respect that she wanted, that actually she wanted to get. Not only she, all the mothers would get from children and husband as well. And here the drama comes to an end. It's a long one. We had started it long days ago, but ultimately we came to the conclusion, and I feel you have understood. It's a very nice one, because I could not remember that any drama, any literary piece we are having in class 9, 10, 11, 12 having such type of transition or changing of soul. So it's a nice one, and I feel you have also enjoyed it. Do you have any queries? If you have, you may ask question. Otherwise, the question that you have, I want that you should prepare of your own, because it will help you in preparing the answer in board exam also, because next year you will appear in the board exam, and there you will have to write the answer of your own. That should be the smart way of preparation, because I don't feel that memorizing notes and producing in the exam it has lots of risk factor, and if that question doesn't come, then you can't do anything. So it would be better if you prepare up your question of your answer own. It would be better. And if you have any queries, you must ask me in my next class. Otherwise, we will start the last chapter from this book, that is Birth by A.G. Cronin. So in my next class I will definitely start the last chapter, Birth, A.G. Cronin, and from this chapter, if you have any query, you should ask me question in my next class. But today it's thank you very much for joining my class, and bye bye.